Thank you. Really well. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, James?
I forgot about the mic. Happy New Year, everybody. It's a new year for us and we're so excited. I am all decked out and our theme for this year, create hope in the world. And that's what we're going to do together as Plano West Rotary Club. All right. Everybody down with that?
Yeah.
All right. That gets me so excited. I want to welcome you all and welcome our guests to our first meeting. We've been off for, was 2 weeks? 1 week, it seems like it's been 2 weeks. We've been gone for 1 week, but we're back in 4th of July. We had to stop to celebrate that, right? And we did it in a wonderful way with our 4th of July parade and all of that. And so it was a good thing. We're going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. We will have our invocation by Fred B. And then following him will be our pledge. Joanna's coming with our pledge, and then Catherine will introduce our guests.
Before I say the invocation, this is the halo that goes around our president's head this year. That's why she brought that. But she said I can't use it right now. Would you bow with me, please? Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the freedoms that we have to be able to assemble. And thank you for the fellowship that we enjoy with each other. And we say a special prayer for Tamara this year as she leads us as president, and a prayer for those that support her in her efforts this year. And as we live up to the motto of service above self, give us wisdom throughout the year, and give us strength, and give us the opportunities to do what you have asked us to do most, and that is serve one another. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Honor the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some guests over here come in.
Next, you're next.
I am next. So today we are excited to have a whole bunch of guests joining us today. To make it easier so I don't mispronounce any names, I'm going to go ahead and have Roxana introduce all of her guests for us.
So, my guest, we have all the way from Mexico, District 4130, past president, 1994, 1995. Hector Lopez, this is the club of Reynosa, Mexico. And my mom, Roxana, welcome to. All the way from Pittsburgh, we have Isabella and Dominique's grandma, and she is here for this special meeting. Welcome back, Joyce. And we have our guest speakers, Dominique and Olivia, but we will hear more about them in a little bit. And Catherine, you have more special guests.
We do today. We are honored to have our district secretary with us, Dee. She proceed. And I just saw somebody else walk in. Do you want to?
Bill Perry, and I'm a member of the Richardson Club. And this is my guest, Lynn Abear.
And for the last time as a guest, Luciana. So that's. And I'll remind our guests, lunch is on us, so please do order up and have lunch with us. Thanks.
Wow, what wonderful, wonderful guests. I mean, we have traveling guests here today. So let's make sure we take some good pictures with our guests on today and make sure they're very, very welcome to club. Now we will go ahead. Fred T is coming to do our brags today.
Good evening, everyone. Who has a brag? All right, Lord have mercy.
Y'all know I always have a brag. I have something to talk about, you know. This morning I spent the morning just fixing the brickwork outside my master bedroom. So I was sitting there cleaning off all the old brick, putting out the new border and resealing up the window there, you know, because, hey, if it's going to rain every morning, I don't want to have anything leaking into that window. So it's time to actually get that fixed. So that was my morning. But for the last 2.5 weeks, took the family, the teenagers to England, Turkey, and Greece. So we've been on a wild adventure for the last 2 weeks. And the best thing of all is the teenagers have come back and they've gotten up at 7 o'clock every morning since we came back. And it's like, they're still on turkey time.
I have to brag also and have a very special brag. I want to brag about all the Rotarians around the world and also our fellow Rotarian Alex Johnson. So it turns out Dominique was supposed to get here on Sunday, and she flew from Zurich to the US. And while she was 4 hours into the trip, we found out that the plane was canceled. Like the plane leaving from Philly to Dallas was canceled. not only that, the next flight was canceled and the next flight was, every flight from Philadelphia was canceled on Sunday because of the weather. And so suddenly an idea, like a name came to me, and I called Alex, and you know how Alex is, like, he's a bull when you give him a problem, right? So he said, Roxana, wait, give me 5 minutes. And he has some connections all over the US, and he called people in Philadelphia, because you know what? We tried to find a hotel for Dominique, and there were hotels, but she's only 16. And the hotels were not admitting her because she's a minor. And the next flight for her was gonna be until the next day, 24 hours in the airport. A 16-year-old girl, it's.
Yeah.
So there were 4 Rotarians in Philadelphia that offered to help. And the one picked her up at the airport, took her to the house, and she's the future governor of the district of the Philadelphia area. Yes, so
Wow.
I'm very thankful, very for all the Rotarians around the world. They're just there ready to help everybody.
Any more brag, any more brag.
Hey guys, I want to read a quick card. We got a thank you card from the Movers for Moms. If y'all remember, we did a drive with them. So they said, I wanted to thank you and your team personally for participating in our Movers for Moms 2023 donation drive. With your help, we collected over 10,000 items to help moms in need. Thank you for helping us move moms forward. Wishing y'all the best.
Any more brags, any more brags.
I just want to brag on our president-elect, Ero. She was our representative for the 4th of July event and parades, and it was so wonderful. I had my first opportunity to ride on a big, beautiful float, and I took a crane to get me up there, and one hour get me down. It was tall, but it was so beautiful, and the event was so wonderful. And so thank you, Ero, for representing Plano West with the parades and holiday activities. Thank you.
All right. Any more brags? Anybody on the line want to brag?
Oh, wait a minute, right here.
Right here.
Thanks, Fred G. Yeah, I was in Florida. I survived, and it was my first trip there. I can honestly say to you, I didn't know what to expect, but it was pretty good. And as a young boy, I grew up watching ESPN2 outdoors on Saturday mornings. That's when they broadcasted in South Africa. And they always had like tarpon jumping. And I managed to land my first tarpon on Friday. So very good day for me on Friday.
One more brag, any more brags? Anybody online need a brag? Lord, you don't want to brag? Well, I'm gonna brag because I enjoyed 4th of July last week. It was a host of people from all different cultural, and I just watching. And I thank God it was a blessing. We ain't had nothing to go off. Like some of them in other places, they were having guns. I thank God for our Plano PD. They did an excellent job. So that's my brag. And to all the visitors, thank you for coming serving.
All right, wonderful. We are going to move right along because we want to give our speaker as much time today as possible. We're going to do club business because this is our first meeting. We have quite a bit of business, so we'll go through it really quickly. We do have a new member we need to vote on, and I'm going to say this name like he did. Luciano Peroni. Luciano Peroni. I just love that name. And so Luciano's been with us several visits, and he wants to become a club member. So all of those in favor of voting Luciano Peroni. All right, that is unanimous vote. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We will do his installation on next meeting next week. Glenn is going to come up and talk to us about something very, very important we all need to participate in.
So you heard us talk about the district awards that are out right now. And so the deadline is actually this Saturday, but it might be overwhelming for you if you go up to the district website. So I just looked at 4 or 5, I think, possibilities. What it is, it's the possibility for a club or individuals to be recognized for the year we just had. And there's all kinds of categories. But let me just talk about 2 or 3 categories. There's individual awards. So like service above self, I can think of a couple of people in here that probably have more service than anybody else in the district. Outstanding first-year Rotarians. We've got several that have been here less than a year that are doing great jobs. And then there's club awards. So like community service, again, that's what we're all about. That's what we do. We're community service. Public image, Jen has already won some awards there, but that's another one. That form's a little bit different, but that's another option. Spirit of cooperation, but I thought about Aero, like the 4th you just did with the other Plano clubs, our association with PISD and the city of Plano. This club cooperates with a lot. So that's just some examples. And really all you got to do is there's like a 1-page, you say, you know, community service, Plano West Rotary, and you write a paragraph or 2 and you turn it in. That's it. There's not much to it. And then there's a committee that takes that at the district level and they'll look through them and the awards will be announced at the end of August. It's for this last Rotary year, the award to be announced. But if you have an interest or someone you have in mind for an individual, come talk to me afterwards or anybody on the board and I can point you into the 1 page to fill out, or I can help you fill it out. But just the deadline is this Saturday, as long as we get them in this Saturday. This club is awesome. And so we deserve some recognition there, I think, and we can hang it up high. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
It was just another question, but yeah, I did this morning.
And I think everybody should have gotten an email. So check your emails and let's brag on our club, because last year, as we saw our video at the last meeting, we did a lot on last year and we're very proud of that, right? So let's take a little bit of time and recognize our club and some of the individuals in here that do the work. On July the 29th, we have the Avenue K trash pickup from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Please sign up. There are some other things that should be on there that aren't, but we're going to get them, help Tara get caught up with what our other service projects. New year, new insurance waivers. Remember that. So when you go online to sign up for a service project, remember this is a new year. So you have to sign the new waiver. Every year you have to sign new waivers of release of liability. So don't forget to do that this year. Please read your weekly newsletters because we have new things coming, and Jennifer and Emmanuel are doing an awesome job with our newsletters. Are y'all reading them?
Yes, teacher.
I forget that I'm a teacher too. Okay. So to all the kindergartners in here, read your newsletter. Thank you, Glenn, for reminding me of that. Okay, exciting things are coming. We're going back to our red and blue badges. Very, very simple. Joanna, we'll wait till next week and she can explain it to you. It's just a matter of choosing, checking what you've done. And for the red badge, they're very simple things. If you led a pledge, whatever. On blue badge, Zane has done all the videos. Our orientation, we did not have people showing up. So this is another way of getting our orientation done. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to watch a video. And Zane's done about 7 or 8 videos on there that can really get you going, especially if you're an old member and you haven't been on Club Runner in a while, you're missing out. There's some interesting things on there. So this is for anybody. We will acknowledge birthdays and anniversaries. We will go back to our pushing our Paul Harris Fellow. And we're going to be doing a Rotarian of the Month. All of this will happen on the last Tuesday of each month. And so we just want to recognize one another and give each other a hand for all the good work we're doing. Monthly meetings will now consist of speakers, networking, and in-person projects. Next Tuesday is our first in-person project. In the newsletter, you should have saw that we're going to be making children's blankets, the tie-knot blankets for Children's Hospital of Plano. And so we're asking, if you will, if everybody can bring at least a 2-yard piece of flannel material. And we're going to put them together, tie knot them around, takes about 30 minutes, and then we're going to deliver them to Children's Hospital for the kiddos there. So if you don't think you'll have time, you can donate and give me the money. I'll pick up the material for you. But let's try to get as many blankets made as we can. We're also going to be doing, Peter, you can start coming up. We're going to be doing this in honor of Nelson Mandela Day. And Peter's going to give us a little bit of information.
Thank you very much, Tamara. So up until today, you probably thought I was the most famous South African that you knew.
Yes.
But I want to put the following to you. So South Africa is the current Rugby World Cup champions. We'll be defending our crown for the 4th time in France in a little over 2 months. Then there is Charlize Theron, not Theron, as you may know her as the Oscar-winning actress, also from South Africa. Roger Federer, the tennis star, is 50% South African. His mother is South African. And I was lucky enough to see him just before the pandemic play in South Africa in front of 85,000 people against Rafael Nadal. Trevor Noah, the comedian of The Late Show, South African. Then there were 4 Nobel Peace Prize laureates: Chief Albert Luthuli, late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, F.W. de Klerk, who was the last president under apartheid, and then this big guy, Nelson Mandela. Now, he served South Africa with distinction, and his community and his family and everyone for 67 years. And when he retired from public life in the early 2000s, he put a challenge out there, and he put this challenge out when he was at his last public appearance in Hyde Park in London. And he said, he's now done his bit, but he's giving it over to everyone else to take up the mantle and spend at least 67 minutes on his birthday every year, 18th of July, and give back to the community. You can do it in any which way. We already have a great service project that's happening in here, but I ask each and every one of you, go Google it. It's a fantastic initiative all over South Africa. All of the corporates, they send out their people that kind of give them the day off. They pack food parcels. They work at soup kitchens. They help people. It's winter in South Africa now. It's bitterly cold. It's only snowing for the 3rd time in 45 years in Johannesburg, where I'm from. So it's a really crunch time of year where a lot of the people who are not homed at the moment, they rely on service projects like this. So please, not only here, but everywhere in your community, in your businesses, please Google it and spread the message. 67 minutes is all it's taking. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Awesome. I'm gonna allow a couple of announcements only because we don't have the service projects up yet. So Catherine has a couple of announcements.
Sorry, really fast. While I was standing back there, we have some additional guests, and I'm going to do my best. We have Mike Mark, who I believe are you a dad from one of our scholarship winners? So now he's interested in joining. And we have Marie Harris. And Maria Jamrillo, did I get that right? From Legacy Charter Academy. And while we're talking about, I just got at the fairly last minute, a request for volunteers to help out stuff backpacks for the Plano ISD back to school fair. And we will be sending out the link to Sign Up Genius. They're handling their own volunteers. So we'll get that link out so you can sign up for that.
All right, and also July the 22nd, Douglas Visions. We've sent this to Tara, but it's not on service projects yet for some reason. We're needing help with our back to school give back at the Boys and Girls Club of Plano. So hopefully that'll get on there really, really quickly. And I wanted to say to those that are online for our service project next week, you can also be a part of that. If you can purchase 2 pieces of flannel material, 2 yards each, then you can do it in the comfort of your own home as well while we do it here. All right, John.
And don't forget, second Friday of the month, happy hour at Senior
Yes.
Loco.
Yes, and our wonderful social chair, Laura Johnson Online, has set up another social hour for us on, what did you say? What day is it? July the 14th?
This Friday.
This Friday, this coming Friday, at Senior Locals from, is it 6 to 7:30? I think it is.
I think 5:30 to 7. Hold on, let Laura.
Laura, can you help me out here?
Hi there, it's from 5:30 to 7 PM this Friday.
Yes, right here in Plano. Hey, all right, and I think that concludes our club business for today. And so now I would like to call up our wonderful club member and the chair of Rotary Youth Exchange. We all know her with her beautiful self, Miss Roxana.
Thank you, Tamara. Hello again, and thank you. I'm so excited that you're here today, excited because you're gonna hear some wonderful speeches today from these amazing girls. So when I say amazing, I mean it. Because what is amazing about these 2 young girls is that they are action takers. They are the living proof that the distance between you and anything that you want is the amount of action that you take. So as you listen to their speeches today, you will realize that they say yes to the unknown before they had the how figured out. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive round of applause because they made it, they finished their year. To Olivia Poisa, I hope I said it right. She spent 1 year in the US and she's from France. And Dominique Yanarelli, she went to Switzerland for 1 year. She just came back 2 days ago. 1 day ago, sorry. So come on, girls. Each girl is gonna talk about their experience. There is gonna be about 10 minutes per person. And there's gonna be about 5 minutes for questions and answers. And when the meeting is over, if you still have some more questions, you can come and get them. They're gonna be here. Who wants to start?
Hello, everyone. Like my mom said, I was just on an exchange year to Switzerland. I got back yesterday, and like my mom said, it was hard to get back. It took 48 hours to get back, but I had the best year of my whole life. First, I'm going to talk about some facts about Switzerland because it's a very small country, so not a lot of people know about it, like stuff about it. I'm going to talk about things I'm never going to forget, even though some of the things are small. I'm not going to forget them. Of course, an exchange year is not just rainbows and sunshine and puppies. There's a lot of challenges that come with it. And so obviously I'm going to be talking about the challenges I had. I'm going to talk about my class and the school I had in Switzerland, culture shock, and what I brought back to the US and that I'm going to use every single day of my life. So Switzerland has many different languages as an official language. There's a German part there's a Romanian part, there's a French part, and there's an Italian part. So there's 4 official languages, but 5 languages are spoken because they don't actually speak normal German, which is called High German, in their everyday lives. They speak Swiss German. And if you're wondering, they're very different. They're very, very, very different. I lived in a city called Thun. This is my city. It is called the city of the Alps because, as you can see, we are surrounded by Alps. There was literally everything in the city. There were the mountains. There was a really blue, beautiful lake. There was a river. There was the forest. And if you look up Switzerland on Google, the city that I lived on is probably going to come up because it's super beautiful. Oh, and there's a castle. Every single city in Switzerland, even if has like 1,500 people, has a castle. Switzerland is super small. Switzerland fits in Texas 16 times.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the first time that I saw my school. I'm never going to forget it. It was so beautiful. Of course, it looks very different than the US high schools. It's a lot smaller, but very, very beautiful. If you know me, you know that I love cows. Cows are my favorite animals, and Switzerland is known for cows. And this is the first time that I pet a cow. In Switzerland, you'll just see a cow and you can go up to it and pet it. So I pet cows every day. Then the cookies, these are cookies that I baked with my host sister during Christmas. Their cookies are not like our cookies that are like not perfect circles and stuff. These are like, all of them are the same shape and they're very small, but I'm never going to forget the time I was making them with her because we really bonded together. And by the way, this photo doesn't end here. It ends like over there. We made so many cookies. I also really love dry fruit, and my second host family had like a whole drawer of it. And I know it's like a small thing, but I'm never going to forget them giving me a tour of their house and showing me that. This is the first time that it snowed while I was there. It's so beautiful, and this is right outside of my house that I was with my second host family. This is a little festival. Well, not little, it's very big. It's called Fastnacht. It basically starts at 1 a.m. and it lasts about a week. And it's 24/7 for a week, and they have really weird masks and they're playing music and stuff. It was very different than what I was used to. And as you know, fondue is it's like one of Switzerland's food. And fondue is only eaten in the winter. So with my second host family, they had a little shack and we would light it up with a ton of different candles. And we would go outside and eat it in the shack. And because it was winter, we were wearing like 10 different coats and stuff. But it was amazing. It was so good. This was in Italy with my third host family. Just these pastries were so good. I still think about them. This is a sunset in France. This is right as it started. Towards the end, it was like the whole sky was red and stuff. This is the Italian part of Switzerland, and I'm never going to forget how it looked because I really think, for me, it looks like what I picture heaven as. And this is a very famous bell in Switzerland. And I think one of the most important days of my exchange year was August 21st, because that's whenever I met my best friends. These are all exchange students. And this is about like 1/10 of the pictures I have with them. I saw them probably almost every day of the week. We would all just take a train and meet somewhere. We would say, oh, let's go explore this mountain. And we would all meet there, and it was so amazing. They're my best friends. I made this slide in German because this is a very long word, and I think it's like super cool to look at because German words are super long. But Herausforderungen means challenges. So my first challenge was my country. I know maybe some of you guys wouldn't believe it, but in Europe, not everyone loves the US. especially in Switzerland and especially Texas. I think they thought because I am from Texas, I am from the US, that I have something to do with the president, even though I am 16 and I can't vote, that I am the president or something. And they took that like, oh, I don't know, she's maybe dangerous to talk to or something. But that was a very big challenge. Another challenge is the food. In the US, we are used to eating like a hot meal every dinner and normally lunch and breakfast as well. But in Switzerland, they would call it eating cold. And many nights, probably 4 out of 7 days of the week, we would eat cold, which was basically eating a loaf of bread with butter for dinner. And that wasn't my favorite at the beginning because it wasn't always very filling, but I got used to it. This was very big. I was many times ignored because I think it has something to do with the language. I had to learn High German because Rotary told me to learn High German because Swiss German isn't an official language, and High German is obviously used around the world a lot more than Swiss German. Only like 0.08% of the people in the world speak Swiss German or something, just that little part of Switzerland. So I was learning High German, but the people are not going to want to speak High German with me because they love their language. And so a lot of times I was ignored in school, at dinners, and at events. Believe it or not, a very big challenge were the Swiss kids. It took me 8 months until I got invited to do something with them. They're the kind of people that make friends very slowly, but they keep those friends for a while. So I think they viewed me as like a stranger, and they would just watch me and stuff. And I think they were kind of scared to speak English with me at the beginning. And whenever I started to speak German, maybe I don't know, they didn't want to speak slowly with me and stuff. I think this is one of the biggest ones, the cold culture. The people at the beginning are very cold. If you are on a train and you have an empty seat next to you, the people are going to try to pray that no one sits next to them. And whenever someone sits next to them, they just look out the window or they're on their phone and stuff. And even with my host families at the beginning, it was very formal. We would like shake hands instead of hugging and stuff. And that was hard because I grew up in my family like a Latin household, and we would hug every morning, every night, and yeah. Also the host siblings. I think if you are going to be a host parent, you have to make sure that your child is on board with having an exchange student, because if they're not on board with that, then the exchange student is going to really feel that they're not really welcome with the host sibling, because the host sibling makes the biggest difference in the world. If you have a bad day at school, you come back and you're greeted with the host sibling. So if you feel that you're not welcome with them, then it is hard. Like I said, they didn't speak I was in the German part, but German is a very hard language, but it was even harder because I was having to study German while they were speaking Swiss German. So it was like if you come to the US and you try to learn Spanish or something, everyone around you is speaking English, but you're studying Spanish. They obviously can speak High German because Swiss German isn't an official language, so they don't have their own writing. They write in High German, but a lot of people didn't want to speak High German. So I was very lucky with my second host family because they said if we speak English, we have to do 10 push-ups every word we speak. So I learned it very fast after that. This is my school. I already showed my school. This was my class. In Switzerland, you stay with the same class since like kindergarten. So these people were very close to each other. And I had another exchange student in my class as well from Canada. I think the culture shocks are very big. Obviously the food, not just, no, it's not a bad thing that we only ate a lot of carbs. I think about 60% or 50% of Switzerland is vegetarian. There's not very many vegans because, well, their like foods are cheese and chocolate and milk and stuff, but a lot of people were vegetarian, which fine by me, but we were eating a lot of bread, which isn't always a bad thing because I am a runner. So I noticed I actually got faster with all the carbs. I think my biggest culture shock was the public transportation. And I think this is going to be the hardest thing to get used to in the US because I can't drive yet. And so whenever I wanted to meet with a friend, I would just either go on my bike to go to the train station and then take a train, or I would just walk 50 meters to my bus stop. And I would do this every single day. I would go somewhere new. And here I have to ask my mom to take me to Walmart. And we are not going to drive 3 hours away every single day in the car. The people, like I said, they're very cold, but that is not always a bad thing because, like, for example, my host mom would invite this friend over very often that she had for 45 years. And these Swiss people, really, it takes them a long time to make friends. But whenever they find friends, they keep them for the rest of their lives. So at the end of my exchange year, I did become close with the people. So I hope we keep in contact. And now for my takeaways. I am definitely a lot more independent because I didn't have my mom there cooking every single meal and helping me with laundry and stuff. I had to completely do everything alone. I was 15 years old for most of my exchange year, and I would be traveling across the country alone and doing everything for myself. One of the biggest things that I am taking away are I got rid of my comfort zone, because if you're going to go on an exchange, you can't go on an exchange and have a comfort zone, because there's nothing comforting about thinking, oh, I am going to go across the world to live with strangers and not be with my family for a year. Like, I don't know, that doesn't sound comforting. So you have to lose the comfort zone from the beginning, and you try something new every single day, and you say yes to every single thing you get offered. I also learned my borders, meaning I think before I went on my exchange, I was thinking too little about myself. But whenever you are alone in a country and you are very young, you have to think about yourself many times. And yeah. Then the connections, I met probably over 500 people, and I met 70 exchange students in Rotary. And I think I have taken a little piece of everyone's culture with me, which is something very beautiful. And I have already been invited to all my exchange students' houses. I already have an invitation to Japan and Thailand and Argentina. I just tell them I want to go, and they're like, okay, you can stay in my room and stuff. And herzlichen Dank, dass Sie haben mich, Sie waren mein Host Club. Dieses Jahr ist ein Jahr, das ich würde nie vergessen. Es war ein sehr schönes Jahr und vielen herzlichen Dank. Thank you very much for this beautiful year that you guys, that it was possible with your help to do. It is a year I'm never going to forget. And thank you very much. Yes.
What month was that photo taken?
What month?
Yes.
November. This is the Matterhorn. It is probably the most famous mountain in all of Switzerland. If you don't know what it is, you know, the Toblerone chocolates. It is the logo on that.
So
yes,
you had 2 host families?
3.
3, but they were all in the same city?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna leave the questions after Olivia talks.
Okay.
And just if for your information, our club, Plano West Rotary Club, sponsored Dominique to go to Switzerland. It was thanks to our club that she was there. And here is Olivia. We were her first host family. She has 3 families, but I'm gonna let her give a.
Hello, my name is Olivia. I'm from France, the south of France, and I've been in the US since September. So, like Roxana said, they were my first host family, and I had 3 host families during the year. And so I'm leaving Saturday. I'm really sad, but I put a bunch of pictures of my whole year, like, so this was my first day. So this picture was in France. My dad took it. And then this was in Dallas in the airport when I came. So I had signs that my host sister Isabella made that I kept my whole year. I still have them in my third house. And this was the first evening I went to a football game with Isabella. I was so tired because it was like 3 a.m. in France or something, and I haven't slept in like 24 hours or something like that, and I was so tired. But it was so much fun because in France we don't have football games and stuff like that, and like I saw football, like a football game, and it was so overwhelming. Like I was like, wow, like I'm in America. So I was so excited, but then so tired. So then my first host family, they took me to New York. So we spent one day in the city, and we walked so much this day. We saw everything in like a few hours. We took a tour, and we literally like we had one day in the city, and we saw like we saw so many things. It was so pretty, and it was my dream to go to New York City, and it was like wow. And so then we drove a little bit up north in New York still, but it was in Ithaca. It's where Cornell University is. And so this was so pretty because so we went during the fall, and so the maple trees were like super colorful, and it was in nature and stuff, and I kind of needed that because after a few months in Texas where there's no like forest and stuff like that, I was really happy to see the nature and stuff. It was really, really, really pretty, and I really loved it. Then it was Halloween. Halloween was such a good memory because in France, so we do have Halloween in France, but it's not a big deal. It's like it's more for little kids. They dress up and they just go walk in the town and ask shops for candies, but nobody like decorates a house and stuff. And here I came in the US, and like everybody was like 100%. We like parties, and like all the neighborhood was decorated. And I went to a neighborhood with my friends for trick and treating, and there were like a haunted house and stuff like that. And like you don't do that in France. So I was like, it was so much fun. I remember this, and I was like, all the evening I was like, I'm coming back next year for Halloween. I have to. And so those are all my friends. We made pumpkins and stuff like that, and yeah, it was really fun. Then there were Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, we don't have Thanksgiving in France because it's a US celebration. So it was my first Thanksgiving, and we went to Pittsburgh in Joyce's house, and it was such an American experience. Like it was, I don't know, like turkey and all that food stuff that we talked about it in school. Like I learned in school that in the US they have Thanksgiving and they eat turkey and mashed potatoes and stuff like that. And then I went and I did it.
French school?
No, in French school we learn in English class that you guys do Thanksgiving, and like we learn about the pumpkin pie and stuff like that. And so like I've never had a pumpkin pie until I came here. So yeah, so it was my first Thanksgiving. It was a really good experience. Yeah. And so yeah, and also we got to visit Pittsburgh, and I met Isabella's and Dominic cousins. So it was really fun. Yeah. So then I moved family, and in January we had a weekend in Tulsa with all the exchange students Rotary from not all the US, but almost. Like there were like all the exchange students from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. I don't remember all the states, but there were a lot. And so this was in Tulsa for like a weekend. And so I met all those exchange students and we all had those jackets and stuff. And it was really fun because I met French people and it felt so weird to speak French because I haven't speak French with people in like months. I mean, I call my mom in French, but it's different calling and seeing someone in real life. And so at first I was confused and I had to like speak French with people. And I didn't even know at first if they were French or if they were English. I was speaking to English with them and then I realized they were French. Anyway, I met so many people from all over the world, from like Asia, America, like everywhere. And then we did a big party overnight and we didn't sleep the whole night. It was really, really fun. And so I got a bunch of pins because we were supposed to trade them when we met the exchange student. So yeah, I traded them to a lot. So this was with my second host family, Tom and Shona and Avery, my host sister. And they took me to a weekend in Red River, New Mexico, where I got to snowboard. So I've done snowboard and ski before in France because I live close to the Alps, so I go every year. But it was really fun to compare the ski in the US and the ski in the Alps. It was much smaller than in the Alps, and it was kind of scary because the chairlift, it was so scary. Like in France, you're like hyper secure. You have like a security bar and stuff, and in the US, like nobody was putting it, and I was like, no, and it was going super high and stuff, so it was kind of scary because in Europe you don't do that. It's like super secure, and those were like kind of old and stuff. But it was really fun that nobody was stressed about it, and my host that was making fun of me because I was stressed on the chairlift, and then yeah, it was really fun and really pretty. I liked it. Then right after that, like right when they came back, my French family was there. So here is my brother, my dad, my mom, and there's my little sister, but she's not in the picture too. But so they came visit me, and they came for a few days, so they got to meet all my 3 host families, and I took them to the Reunion Tower in Dallas, where we got to see Dallas, and then we went to a rodeo too. It was a lot of fun, and it was really fun that they actually like it was fun. I was happy that my house families met them and they met each other because like they saw pictures and stuff, but it was fun. Then I went to San Francisco for spring break. So with my second host family, this is Avery, my host sister. And I think my favorite part about San Francisco was Alcatraz. I think I really liked Alcatraz. It was really creepy. It was kind of like in the movies, but like it was like real life. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then we got to see Muir Woods. It's like the big trees and stuff, and it was really, really pretty. And also I got to see hills that I missed in Texas. Yes. And then I went to Austin too. It was nice. Then prom. And I didn't put pictures of homecoming because there's a lot of pictures to put, but prom, homecoming, stuff like that, we don't have it in France. So like, I remember when I was in France, I would like see prom on like movies and TikToks. And so I got to do prom, and then I sent pictures to my French friends, and so like, oh my God, they're so like jealous. And it was like, yes, I'm doing prom. And like, so it was so much fun. So those are my friends. They're amazing. I kept them the whole year, and it's really nice. Then I went to Houston with my third house family. So this is my third house mom, and we saw the play Wicked, and we went to NASA. So it was pretty cool because NASA, I used to when I was younger, I wanted to be like an astronaut and stuff in NASA, and so like we hear about NASA in Europe, but we don't have it, and so it's pretty cool to like be at NASA. I don't know, it was nice. I bought a NASA pins somewhere here. Yeah. And so this summer I have the best friends ever, really. Like I think I saw them almost every single day this summer. I think every single day, honestly. Like we did so much stuff together. So this is my friend Bryce. She was my neighbor in my third host family, and so we would just hang out all the time. She's like my fourth house sister. Like literally, we are like she's my fourth host family. I was all the time to her house, and she was coming to my house too. Sometimes it was really nice. So we went to a rodeo again together. I've been to 2 rodeos this year. It was really fun. Then we went at a weekend at a lake in Cedar Creeks with my friend, and so we did boats and wakeboarding and surfing and stuff like that. It was really fun, and this was my goodbye party that I did last Friday. So yeah, they're really nice. And also this year I got to do cross country and track and field. In France, I used to not do any sports, and here I came and I joined the cross country group team, and I loved it so much. So those were the meets in cross country. I definitely got better since then, but yeah, I really love it, and I still go to the summer practices and stuff, and I have friends, and it was really nice. And then we had a summer camp with a cross country team, so we went in Arkansas, and it was really pretty. We did runs, and we did like team bondings activities and stuff, and I got even closer to a lot of people, and it was really nice. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Olivia. So, Olivia, come here, and Dominique, does anybody have any questions about Switzerland or the US? Glenn, you were gonna ask something?
Well, it's just about the process. It sounds like you both had 3 host families. That's, I guess, typical, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But some like one of my friends only had 1 host family.
So when did your start? September?
Mine started beginning of August.
So beginning of August until now, so a year, okay, August to August, okay.
It must be pretty safe for you, Dominique,
Yes.
to have traveled by yourself at 15 across 3 hours. So like you said, your mom would drive you to Walmart here, but over there, you were free to do
Anything. You could go out at 3 in the morning without a big dog or pepper spray, and completely fine. Some of my friends would like.
Gotcha, very good.
Oh yeah. But I know a lot of people, like the trains would close at a certain time, and people could sleep outside and nothing would happen. You could go outside and literally be safe, completely safe.
Very good. So one other question. So both of you all did a lot of travel in your exchanges. Is that a requirement of the program that you all, just the families hosted you, wanted you to? Okay.
No, it's not a requirement, but so there's a host families that can take us, and then you can take Rotary tours. I didn't take a tour. Dominique took the Europe tour, and I didn't take a tour because I went to Arkansas with for the summer camp. But yeah, no, it's not required, but it's fun to travel. So
absolutely.
Switzerland is super small, so a lot of times, like I would just go to Germany to buy groceries because they're cheaper. But I was allowed to, like, yeah.
Very good.
Now that you've been in school for a year, do you have any intention perhaps of studying Olivia, you in the US, and would you like to study in Europe?
Wait, I didn't understand the question.
So do you like the US education system that you may want to study in the US?
So I'm not gonna study in college, even if I would have loved to, because it's kind of complicated. It's expensive, and like since I'm a foreign, like a foreign people, it's hard to go into college in the US. So I will stay in France. But I definitely love this high school here. It's so much more fun than in France. Like literally in France, the school is so boring. But literally, we don't do anything. Here, there's so much stuff like prom, homecoming, football games, stuff like that. We don't have that in France. So yeah. I think I would love to study in Switzerland because it's a lot cheaper and prettier, and I don't know, they have different education, but it's a little higher, and yeah, I have a lot of connections there already.
Roxana, if you can come back up as well. Wow, we are so proud of both of you.
Yes.
I mean, you've done something that most people, have not done and would not do, because it took a lot of courage to do everything that you did. I thought it was a good idea to wear my t-shirt and my 4 pins today until I saw their jackets. This is amazing. It's so impressive and so amazing. And thank you so much for coming and speaking to our club and enlightening us on the awesome possibilities there are with Rotary Youth Exchange. And we're always going to be here to support both of you guys. Roxana, I do not want to forget you. Thank you so much, not only for sending your own baby, but also being a parent for Olivia as she was here. We thank you so much. So in appreciation for your time and coming to speak to us today and share your stories, we will donate $10 in each of your names to Rotary Polio Plus Fund, together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Your $10 is going to turn into $30, and it will provide a polio vaccine for about 50 children each. And so we thank you so much. And we do have these cards for you, and I'll just read it. It says, thank you for being our guest speaker. We are truly grateful to you for sharing your valuable time and talents with us. It is not what we give, but what we share. So thank you all so very much for sharing. Thank you. Yeah. All right, you guys. So we're at the top of the hour. Our next meeting is going to be next week, next Tuesday at noon. Thank you to all of our guests that are here today. You're always welcome to come back. We love it when we have guests. I want to remind you all that at least one piece of flannel material that's 2 yards. If you want to buy more than that, that's great. If you want fire trucks or Barbie dolls on it, it's fine because it's going to children. If you want to just donate today and have us get the material for you, that's fine as well. But let's really show up for our babies at Children's Hospital. Flannel, yes. Well, I don't know the difference in flannel and fleece.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's a blanket. Flannel, fleece.
If it has different designs on it, it's fleece material, but if it's the flannel is also fleece material.
The fleece, the reason why it's good is the threads still run. If you got like cotton flannel, the threads
Will run.
the threads come out, but when you cut fleece, it doesn't, it rolls under and it doesn't come apart.
Thank you for that. So make sure it's fleece so that the thread will not run. Thank you for enlightening us on that. All I know is the direction said fleece. So thank you. Now I'm educated on that. All right. So if we could all stand for our 4-way test, and our president-elect Ero is coming to lead us in that. All right, so for our 4-way test, for the things we think, say, or do. 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it bring goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And 5, is it fun?
Rotary.
Yay, Rotary.
Bye, Glenn. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Kelly. Thank you, Kelly.
Bye-bye.
Good seeing you, Kent. Laura, thank you. Irvin.
Got it done.